The knock came in the middle of the afternoon, when the sun was high and unforgiving, spilling through the dusty windows of the old workshop like a judgment that never softened. It was the kind of knock that carried hesitation in it, a knock that already knew it was not welcome. When I opened the door, I did not see anger or defiance. I saw fear wrapped in fragile courage, standing on the cracked concrete step. Her eyes lifted slowly, and before I could ask a single question, she spoke with a trembling honesty that pierced straight through my guarded heart. She said she had come to repay her father's debt. In that moment, something inside me shifted, and without fully understanding why, I found myself asking if she would like to stay. Before the story unfolds any further, pause here for a moment. If you believe that kindness can change lives, that second chances matter, and that compassion can arrive in the most unexpected ways, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel, Kindness Wave. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that are still waiting to heal. My name is Ryan Iqbal, and that workshop had once been my pride. It sat at the edge of a narrow road where delivery trucks groaned past all day, shaking the shelves and rattling my memories. Years ago, it had been alive with sound and laughter, with my father's voice guiding me through repairs and teaching me the dignity of honest work. But after his sudden passing, debts had crept in like shadows at dusk. One of those debts belonged to a man named Javed Akram, a small-time trader whose promises were bigger than his integrity. My father had trusted him, and when my father died, Javed vanished, leaving behind unpaid loans that somehow became my responsibility. I paid most of them through years of grinding labor, but one account remained unsettled, festering like an old wound. The girl at the door was named Said.I Akram. She could not have been more than 22, with sun-worn hands that suggested she knew work, not comfort. The midday heat had flushed her cheeks, and sweat clung to her scarf as though even the weather conspired to test her resolve. She explained that her father had passed away recently, leaving her nothing but a ledger and a burden of guilt. She had found my name written beside a figure that made her heart sink, and instead of tearing the page out or pretending she never saw it, she had chosen to come here. She had chosen the long walk under the burning sun, chosen humility over escape. I should have felt relief or triumph. Instead, I felt something closer to grief. The debt was old, and over time I had convinced myself it would never be repaid. I had learned to survive without it, but seeing her there made the past rush back with sharp clarity. The workshop smelled of oil and rust, and the fan above us spun lazily, useless against the heat. I watched her fingers tighten around a small envelope, thin enough to tell me it could never cover the full amount. Still, she held it as if it weighed 1,000 kilos. Said.I explained her story in a steady voice that betrayed the storm inside her. After her father's death, creditors had lined up like vultures, each demanding their share. She sold her mother's jewelry, worked mornings at a tailoring shop, afternoons cleaning offices, and evenings tutoring neighborhood children. Every coin she saved carried a memory of exhaustion, but also of purpose. She was not here to negotiate or beg. She was here to honor a promise her father never kept. I took the envelope from her, not opening it immediately. The sun shifted slightly, lighting up dust motes that danced between us, and for a moment time felt suspended. I realized then that the debt was no longer about money. It was about what kind of man I wanted to be in the daylight, when excuses could not hide in the dark. I told her that the amount she carried was not enough to clear the ledger, and her shoulders sagged, though she nodded as if she had expected nothing more. That was when I heard myself ask if she had somewhere safe to go. The words surprised me as much as they surprised her. The workshop had a small storage room in the back, and used since my apprentice left town years earlier. I explained that I needed help during the day, and that she could work off whatever remained. More than that, I offered her a place to rest, to breathe, to exist without fear for a while. The midday sun poured in, illuminating the uncertainty on her face, and then slowly, hope crept in like a cautious guest. The days that followed unfolded under the same bright skies, each one carrying a quiet transformation. Said.I arrived early, before the heat grew cruel, sweeping floors, organizing tools, learning the rhythm of the workshop. She listened more than she spoke, absorbing instructions with a seriousness that humbled me. Customers noticed the change. The place felt lighter, more alive, as though kindness itself had taken up residence between the shelves. At lunchtime, we shared simple meals, sitting outside where the sun softened just enough to feel warm rather than punishing. Yet challenges did not vanish. Whispers followed her in the neighborhood, people questioning her choices, wondering why a young woman would bind herself to an old debt. Some days she returned from errands with eyes clouded by words she did not repeat. I saw how she straightened her back each time, choosing resilience again and again. I, too, wrestled with doubt, with the fear that generosity might leave me vulnerable. But every afternoon, when the light slanted just right and laughter echoed from passing children, I felt my father's presence, approving in silence. As weeks turned into months, the ledger shrank. More importantly, trust grew. Zanera's skills expanded, and with them her confidence. She spoke of dreams she had buried under responsibility, dreams of studying business, of one day running something honest and fair. Hearing her, I recognized my own forgotten ambitions reflected back at me. The debt that once symbolized loss had become a bridge between two wounded histories, built plank by plank in the daylight. One afternoon, under a sky so blue it hurt to look at, Zanera finished the final task of the day and handed me the last installment. The envelope was thicker this time, heavy with effort and sacrifice. I closed the ledger, its pages now empty of numbers, and felt an unexpected tightness in my chest. The workshop door stood open, sunlight flooding in, and the world outside moved on as usual, unaware that something profound had just ended and begun at the same time. I told her the debt was settled, not just in ink but in spirit. What remained was choice. She could leave, free and unbound, or she could stay, not as an obligation but as a partner in rebuilding something meaningful. The look on her face then was not relief alone, it was belonging. She chose to stay, and in that choice, I found healing I did not know I needed. As this story draws close, take a moment to reflect. If this journey of responsibility, kindness, and second chances touched your heart even a little, please like the video, share it with others, and let us know in the comments how it made you feel. Your engagement keeps these stories alive and reaching those who need them most. And before the ending fades, here is a special request: comment one word that describes what this story awakened inside you. Under the steady warmth of the afternoon sun, the workshop continues to thrive, not because a debt was repaid, but because compassion rewrote its meaning. Sometimes, the bravest thing we can do in broad daylight is open the door, listen, and invite someone to stay.